Welcome to our grocery shopping series. Today was planned to be the third installment in our Amish and Mennonite grocery videos, but it isn't. Let me explain. We selected 3 new stores to shop at, and we will be going to those 3 stores in today's video. However, it does appear that 2 out of the 3 locations that we had selected were local chains, but they were not Amish and Mennonite run. However, we still have a twist for today's video. We'll be using online reviews to guide our purchases. So come along with us as we walk through the aisles, compare prices, and find hidden gems. Let's get started. All right, our first stop today is Dear Dutchman in Plain City, Ohio. I've got a few reviews here we want to check out. Kenny D says, although I haven't had the pleasure of visiting this restaurant yet, which I will, at which point I'll amend this review, I can say that I've enjoyed their donuts. 5 stars. All right, Kenny, well, hopefully we'll be able to get some donuts today. It is afternoon, 12:40 to be exact, so they might already be sold out, but if not, we will go ahead and grab some and try that out. Amanda D says, as many times as I've been to Dear Dutchman, I had never actually tried the coffee shop. Took the chance to grab some donuts and some lattes and a whoopie pie. The whoopie pies are delicious. They taste just like an old Suzy Q. If you remember those, very good. 4 stars. All right, well, another vote for donuts. I'll have to also personally grab a latte, and we'll try the whoopie pies. Steve S. says, a friend dropped of some Dear Dutchman donuts, and this review is based only on those donuts. I had a Bear Claw and a Long John, which were both huge. They taste like donuts. Just donuts. 3 stars. Sounds like he wasn't thoroughly impressed, but a huge donut is still a huge donut nonetheless, so we need to try those out. All right, let's get inside. This is not the first time that Morgan and I have been to Dear Dutchman. We actually went years ago and enjoyed their breakfast buffet. But today, we're going strictly into the bakery, and this is the first time that some of our kids have been in here before. Right away, one of the first products that I notice is canned chicken from Walnut Creek for $7.49 a can. Now, Mark, the president of Walnut Creek, started that business in 1977. I'm not sure exactly his specific beliefs, but I know his parents, as he says, were conservative Amish Mennonite. They've got beef sticks for $4.59 a piece, and Amish popcorn for $3.29 a bag. If popping your own kernels isn't really your thing, they do offer a microwave variant for $1.09 per bag. How do you think the Amish test the microwave version? Let me know what you think in the comments below. They have various seasonings for sale, everything bagel seasoning at $5.99, and they also have a section of various coffee beans. I do recall back in the day when regular grocery stores had a section where you could grind your own coffee beans. I think a lot of the stores have gone away from that though. That was one of the best smelling aisles in my memories from childhood. I am a big fan of red raspberry jam, and so are a lot of the kids in the house. I'm not sure if I've tried the black raspberry variant, but at $11.49, I don't think I'll be trying it anytime soon. They have 16 ounces of homemade jam for $7.29, and 8 ounces of homemade jam for $4.09. I'm not exactly sure what a flavored cider is, but maybe some of you could vouch for it. Is $11.59 a decent price, or is this essentially just a glorified fruit juice? Let me know in the comments below. They offer maple syrup at $1.26 per ounce. What an odd final price, though, $20.09. Not sure why they decided to go with that. And then $10.09. Apparently, 9 cents is how they like to end their prices. Yoder's Cashew Crunch at $10.49, and it's just 3 simple ingredients: pure cane sugar, butter, and cashews. Nothing like the products we find on the grocery store shelves nowadays. It's so simple, I feel like I could just go in the kitchen and probably figure it out myself. They sell 9 ounces of brownies for $6.79, but if you really want to get a bang for the buck, $8.79 will get you 32 ounces of brownies. They have small cakes priced at $9.49 a piece, with a white variant and also a chocolate variant that says Happy Birthday. If cupcakes are more your style, you can get 13 ounces of mini cupcakes for $7.29. They have varieties such as red velvet, chocolate with white icing, or chocolate with chocolate icing. I am getting toaster strudel vibes with this raspberry shortbread priced at $6.49 for a 4-pack. Yummy. Up near the coffee shop, the bakery has a joke posted for us. What kind of tea do astronauts drink? Comment below if you know. The answer will be later in the video. In my opinion, chocolate chip cookies are one of the best cookies in existence, but I cannot part with $13 for a box of them. Snickerdoodles also priced at $12.99, and peanut butter. They must have put an entire bag of apples in this Dutch apple pie, just over 3 pounds for $15.99, or a 1-pound apple pie for $9.49. If cherry pie is more your thing, also $9.49, or a no sugar added apple pie at $9.99. So many stores that we've been to recently have fry pies, and I really need to just make it a point to try one of these. But at $3.99 a piece, I think this store might be on the higher end of the spectrum than what we've seen. They have whole wheat dinner rolls for $5.09 a bag, or whole wheat bread at $3.99 a loaf. I'm a big fan of banana nut bread, but I don't think I've ever had that strawberry cousin. Priced at $3.79, it might be worth trying. They have carrot cake for $9.99 and German chocolate cake for $9.49. I actually thought the primary ingredient in pecan pie is usually syrup, but in this pie it's eggs, pecans, and then Caro's syrup, so it's the third ingredient. Potentially might be a better pie than what I'm used to getting from the store. You can get 32 ounces of rolled butter for $15.99. and some Oreo truffles for $10.99. Completely unrelated, but they are right next to each other, and I don't know what an Oreo truffle is, but it sounds delicious. They have 36 ounces of coleslaw for $11.49 and 18 ounces of coleslaw for $6.49. Various flavors of cookie dough at $10.99 a tub, including peanut butter, snickerdoodle, oatmeal raisin, sugar cookies, and chocolate chip. We've now made it up to the donut counter, and we are scoping out their selection so that we can decide which varieties we want to take home with us. But before that, let's get back to that joke over by the coffee counter. So, to refresh your memory, what kind of tea do astronauts drink? The answer? Gravity. Get it? Gravity. Alright, here's what we ended up with as far as our donut varieties. Let's eat. Alright, we got the goods and the receipts. So latte, $5.49. Dozen donuts, they are huge, $25.99. And then the whoopie pie. Haven't tried it yet, but this was $2.99. So, not the best prices in the world, but is the food enjoyable? Mom says the donut's not that good. So maybe he was right. I can't remember his name, but I'm sure I'll remember it later when I look back over the footage. But he said they're just donuts. But the latte, the Buckeye latte, is good. All right. We'll see you at the next stop. Here we are at our second location, Yutzie's, or is it pronounced Yutz's, in Urbana, Ohio. I've got 4 reviews that we're going to use to see what their visit was like and inspire us while we're on ours. Casey G says, Yutzie's is right down the road from the Cheese House. It's a larger space, but they have similar items to the Cheese House. They do have more chocolates and candies available. When I walked into the market, it had an odd smell. 4 stars. All right, well, we will definitely take a look at that, Casey, and see if it still has a weird smell today. Kevin C. says, I came for the sweet Lebanon bologna and left with so much more. 5 stars. Sounds like Kevin had a great experience, and we will also be inquiring about some Lebanon bologna today. Rhonda M. says, I stopped here after reading their great reviews on Yelp and so glad I did. I headed straight to the cheese counter for a bag of cheese-ins, and they had one bag left. At $2.95 a pound, it's a great way to try the many different cheeses that they sell. 5 stars. My wife is a big fan of cheese-ins. It's a great way to get cheese at a discount price, so we'll be hitting that up as well. Joseph S. says, such a fun place to be. I went here last week and had so much fun picking strawberries. Only $1.50 per pound. They also have delicious soda pop of their brand. Can't wait to go back and pick more strawberries. 5 stars. Well, I think it's the wrong season for strawberry picking, but we might have to come back and make another video of that later in the year. Let's go. At this point in our day, we are still convinced that we have located 3 Amish or Mennonite grocery stores to shop at for the day. But shortly after getting inside, we will start to have some suspicions. Alright, we're walking in the store. My nose doesn't work very well. What do you think? Odd smell? Yes? No?
No. Wait. Cheese.
Cheese.
Food. I say perfume.
Mom says perfume. So our assessment upon entering the store is it has a smell of cheese, food, and perfume. So yeah, probably a pretty odd concoction there. We'll say Casey's review is accurate. Of the 2 stores we visited so far today, this one has the largest selection of produce. Grape tomatoes at $2, 2 pounds of lemons for $1.75 each. They also offer bagged oranges, clementines, grapefruits at $5 each. They offer bananas at 59 cents a pound. Bananas do not grow locally here in Ohio, but they do have the Chiquita brand. Honeydews for $4, and watermelons for $5 each. Sweet onions at $1.29 a pound, and red onions also at $1.29 a pound. And here's a brand I had not seen before, Calhoun Bend Mill, with a Bible verse, Proverbs 3:5-6, written on the top of the packaging. Idaho potatoes were on sale at 30 cents a piece, or you could buy potatoes by the bag for $4 for 10 pounds. They had Yoder's cookies at $6.75, and at this point we're still convinced we've stumbled into an Amish or Mennonite grocery store. But we start to notice that the employees don't really look the part. But I mean, I guess they could have just hired anybody to work in their shop. There's no rule that says they have to be authentic Amish or Mennonite to work in an Amish Mennonite store. This store does sell some of the brands we're used to seeing. They have items from Amish country. Their meat comes from Yoder's Meat and Cheese. But out of an abundance of caution, we're just not going to include this in our Amish and Mennonite series, just in case this doesn't actually fit the criteria. Now that we've gotten the awkwardness out of the way, let's talk about this farmer's market. They do still carry a lot of items we're used to seeing at an Amish or Mennonite grocery store. For instance, Amish country popcorn kernels at $2.79 each, multiple varieties to pick from here. And something that I've never seen, popcorn still on the cob for $2.79. I don't know why it never occurred to me popcorn grows on a cob, but it's just weird holding it in my hand and seeing it like this. It comes with a little baggie that you can put it in before you stick it in the microwave. And we took one of those home just to try it out because it's a very unique novelty type item. Over the last several years, I've heard many people talking about the benefits of cooking in animal fat. They have bison tallow and duck fat for sale here, as well as organic beef tallow. In our house, we've actually recently started using lard a lot more for cooking and frying, relying less and less on your typical cooking oils. And here are the in-house store brand sodas that one reviewer was referring to. We actually didn't take any of these home with us, but they do have multiple varieties if you'd like to go there and give it a try. They offer sourdough loaves at $9 each, and another item I haven't seen before, which appears to be a mixture of oils and spices that you can try on bread, mashed potatoes, or as a marinade for your chicken. Yutzie's also has fry pies for $3, which is 99 cents cheaper than the last location Dear Dutchman was selling them for. Now, if I'm reading this label right, half a pound of fudge is $2.94. Compare that to Dear Dutchman, which was selling 8 ounces for $7.99. The cookies and cream variety has a slightly lower price than this chocolate one here at $6.49 a pound, or this strawberry cheesecake also at $6.49 a pound. This store carries its own brand of applesauce in a few different varieties, as well as store brand salad dressing with many variants of Vidalia onion. Yutzie's has Gingrich's homemade jams, 18-ounce jars for $6.99 a piece. The black raspberry, we looked at Dear Dutchman and noticed that 16 ounces was $11.49. So the only difference that I can think of is that black raspberry jam at Dear Dutchman was a no sugar added. But if that is not a concern for you, it's definitely a better value to get the Gingrich version here at Yutzie's. They offer 1 quart of maple syrup for $28.50, which comes out to roughly 89 cents per ounce. If you'll recall, Dear Dutchman was selling maple syrup at $1.26 per ounce, so that will give you a 37 cents per ounce savings getting it at Yutzie's if you buy it by the quart. If you buy the pint, the savings are still there, but it's $1.19 per ounce, so not quite as dramatic. They have 2 pounds of honey for $14.99 or 1 pound of honey for $8.69. They also have some various kinds of lotion that appear to be homemade, but I'm not sure, and some chapstick in various varieties as well. They offer beeswax at $2 an ounce, which you can use to make homemade candles, homemade skincare products, or even as a furniture polish. Personally, a season or so ago, we used beeswax to line the inside of a bee swarm trap. They offer flavor-infused honey at $9.50 each. I haven't tried any of these, but Aldi's does have a variant of hot honey that we've tried and enjoyed. But some of these flavors do sound intriguing, especially the cinnamon one. Some of you will have to let me know in the comments if you know what raw bee pollen is used for. Do you eat it? Do you attract bees with it? I don't know, but they have it at $7 for 4 ounces. If tea is your thing, they have various varieties, and the price varies depending on the variety selected, but things such as elderberry, peppermint, and even stinging nettle, which I have not seen at the store before. I am shocked that this catnip is actually meant to be used as a tea. You will have to let me know if you've tried this before and if it's any good. My wife was genuinely excited about the handmade soap selection, especially this odds and ends bundle that is sulfate, paraben, and GMO free for $15. If you know the type of soap that you want and don't need a variety pack, they offer the whole block at $35. Some of the varieties are lemongrass, citrus and spice, lavender, oatmeal, goat milk, lavender, patchouli, and oatmeal goat milk. Personally, I've been into rosemary soaps lately, and I'm currently using one as a shampoo bar and a face wash. Speaking of which, they have a rosemary and peppermint conditioner, 2 of my favorite scents mixed together. This store carries beef from Yoder's Meat and Cheese. They have a sign up stating that all their calves are finished on an all-natural vegetarian diet, and their beef contains no animal byproducts, steroids, growth hormones, stimulants, artificial chemicals, or antibiotics. It's pretty reassuring. In addition to beef, they have ground chicken for $7.49 a pound, and they have ground turkey for $6.89 a pound. They also carry grass-fed, grass-finished bison burgers for $12.50 a pound. I've tried many types of meat over my life, but I've never tried buffalo. So if you have, let me know. Does it taste just like cow, or is there actually a reason to purchase this over beef. If egg prices have got you down, Yutzi's currently offers eggs cheaper than my local Aldi, or you might consider looking for a backyard egg producer in your area. With the cost of eggs rising faster than the cost of feed, you might even get a better value. We just left Yutzi's or Yutzis, and we did manage to get a hold of some of the cheese ends. They are $3.29 a pound, so we grabbed some of those. We got the sweet Lebanon bologna, which is $7.89 a pound. We got 2 pounds at $15.94. They were nice enough to give us a sample. We said we had never tried it before, but we saw really good reviews online about it. So they let us try it, and it is good and unique. I've never had anything like it before, especially not a bologna. Baby Swiss, $5.99 a pound. We got a pound of that at $6.14. Got some sandwich sauce. Since we got all this deli meat, we might as well eat some sandwiches before we go home. We also got some Walnut Creek bread, which is bread right from Walnut Creek, Ohio, our home state here. And we decided to grab one of these microwave popcorn logs since they were so unique. And we're going to let our oldest son enjoy that. So here we go. Moving on to the next location. All right, hopefully you guys can all hear me over the road noise, but we are here at our last stop, the Cheese House in Plain City, Ohio. We got a few reviews pulled up. We're gonna look over before we head inside and get out of this rain. Nicole H says, I'm at the Cheese House right now. They somehow mistook roast beef for Lebanese bologna. Really? Then they were not able to just allow me to pay the difference for my roast beef. I had to wait 10 minutes for the girl to figure out, why not just pay the difference? 2 stars. Okay, Nicole, well, just for you, we're going to go inside and grab some roast beef and see if we end up getting bologna instead. Nan H says the cheese shop has fresh vegetables with no GMOs. I asked Yulte's 3 times if their vegetables were from GMO seeds, and they said yes. 5 stars. All right, well, we'll have to try some fresh vegetables while we're here. And I think she meant Yutzi's, not Yulte's. Our next review is Daniel A. He says, this place is amazing. I love their deli meats, cheeses, and of course the cheese balls. You must get one if you visit. They are so good. They treat you so well here. Keep in mind it is a very popular and kind of small store and stays busy, so at times it can be crowded, but it's a wonderful place and I highly recommend it. If this review helped you at all, please mark as helpful and follow me for more reviews around the world. Okay, Daniel, nice shout out for yourself there, but we will definitely have to try the cheese balls per your recommendation. All right, let's head inside. Right off the bat, one of the first things you'll notice is this store is pretty small, and the only produce that I can find is on this little stand right here. On that stand we found onions, tomatoes, potatoes, and bananas. With the small selection, we decided just to take a few tomatoes home, and honest review, they were very translucent inside and just not good, so we did feed them to our chickens. It is possible that this small selection of produce is only due to the current season being winter, but I cannot verify. They have an apple crunch pie at $11.25 for 1 pound. If we compare that to the Dutch apple pie of Der Dutchman is actually a better deal. They offer the 1 pound pie at $9.49, but the best value comes from the 3 pound pie at $15.99. I am a fan of peanut brittle, and they offer that at $6.69 per pound. And they have rye bread made in Amish country for $4.59 per loaf. We have another comparable item here, the Red Hen Fry Pies, which is actually the exact brand that was offered at Yutzi's for $3 per pie. Here it is $3.25, and just as a reminder, Der Dutchman's pies were $3.99, so they're slightly more expensive than Yutzi's, but cheaper than Der Dutchman. The Cheese House offers cookies at $6.59 per pound. Der Dutchman's cookies were slightly over 1 pound, but they were $12.99, so the Cheese House is definitely a better bargain when it comes to these cookies. Despite this store's small size, they do have quite a few varieties of flour if baking is your thing. Daniel A. mentioned that the Cheese House had good cheese balls. The one in the fridge was bacon rolled, but you could ask an employee for a nut rolled cheese ball, so we did. And it has become a hit in our house, and since bringing this home, we've bought 4 other flavors of cheese balls from different stores, not from the Cheese House, and this one from the Cheese House still remains our favorite, so I highly recommend it. Up to this point, Yetzi's has the title for the cheapest maple syrup out of the stores that we've went to at $19 for 1 pint. However, that title is now being taken by the Cheese House, which has 1 pint at $18.49. All right, just got out of the Cheese House and we grabbed a few things. So while we were in there, we picked up some Walnut Creek spinach dip. They were on sale for $2.99. We grabbed 2 of those. We also requested the cheese ball with nuts. It's $5.69 a pound. So we got this ball for $6.54. Got some tomatoes. They were $3.25 a pound. So we get this little bundle here for $4.13. And then we asked for roast beef, and it's still in. And we asked for roast beef, and they gave us roast beef at $7.99 a pound. So this was $8.95 is what we paid to get out the door with this. If you enjoyed the video, I hope you'll click right over here. This is the video that YouTube thinks you would like to see next. And we'll see you over there. Thanks for watching.